Donald Trump is getting crushed by a wave of new attack ads as we approach the election, and we are speeding towards it right now. These ads are getting even more powerful, more impactful, and they are exposing Donald Trump for the threat that he is. My name is Brett Meiselas here with the MeidasTouch Network. Remember to hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3.5 million subscribers. Let's dig right in. These are some of my favorite ads that I have seen all election cycle, and they could not be coming at a better time. Here's a new one from the Lincoln Project who says, if you wouldn't want your kids to say this, your president should not either. Watch.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured.
I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
She was always of Indian heritage until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black. I have concepts of a plan. They take your child, it was a he, and comes back a she. For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it. There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah. We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
And I know I've showed this one to you guys already, but this is one of my favorites of this election cycle and maybe of any election cycle ever. We premiered this here on the MeidasTouch Network. Here's a new ad from Eric Swalwell, Democratic congressman, that depicts Donald Trump in the home where he really belongs. Watch.
We were so worried.
They're eating the dogs.
He wasn't making any sense.
The people come in. They're eating the cats.
And he just kept getting worse.
They did dumps. That's what they call them, dumps. Big, massive dumps.
Gross.
In Michigan and Pennsylvania, all over.
We had to do something.
They will take the life of the child in the 9th month. Even after birth, they'll execute the baby.
You sound crazy right now.
Then a friend told us there was somewhere he could get the help he so desperately needed, called A Place for Trump.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Now he has round-the-clock support and can enjoy the things he loves, like eating cheeseburgers and rage posting at 3 a.m.
I know windmills very much, and they're driving the whales, I think, a little batty.
Sure.
So this November, let's vote to put him in A Place for Trump, because we all know he belongs in a home, just not this one.
I have concepts of a plan.
Of course you do.
This next ad is so important. It's from George Conway's Anti-Psychopath PAC. Over 200 mental health experts have signed their letter explaining that Trump's malignant narcissism makes him deceitful, destructive, deluded, dangerous, and grossly unfit to be president of the United States. Here are 4 of them explaining why.
To understand why Donald Trump is unfit for office, to understand why Trump is a danger to the republic, you must understand that he is a malignant narcissist.
Malignant narcissists exhibit a grandiose sense of self-importance, derive pleasure from causing harm, and are incapable of caring about other people's feelings.
This explains Donald Trump's pathological lying, his misogyny, his admiration for dictators, and his criminal behavior.
Trump is incapable of caring about you, our country, and the Constitution that a president swears to faithfully execute. He's only capable of caring about himself.
That is why Donald Trump is unfit for office.
This is why he's a danger to the republic.
Donald Trump has no choice but to be a malignant narcissist.
But we have the choice.
We can choose
whether or not to put a malignant narcissist in the White House again.
Here's a new ad from Vice President Harris's campaign about Donald Trump's admiration for dictators, including Adolf Hitler. This is based on the new reporting from The Atlantic. Watch this.
John Kelly, a 4-star Marine general, has told us, Trump said, "Why aren't my generals like those of Hitler's?" He admires dictators. In the height of COVID, When most Americans could not get their hands on a COVID test, he secretly sent COVID tests to the president of Russia for his personal use. This election is presenting the American people with a very significant decision. I do believe that Donald Trump is unstable and unfit to serve.
Here's another ad from the Harris campaign that's up on TV in battleground states. Take a watch.
My mother raised us to believe in the possibility of America and the power of hard work. And if she ever heard us complain, she'd ask us, well, what are you going to do about it? And when it comes to politics, some would prefer to run on a problem rather than solve a problem. Well, I believe in solving problems. My plan cuts taxes for 100 million Americans and lowers costs for groceries, medicine, and housing. Let's turn the page on the politics of pettiness and chart a new way forward. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
This next one is a new ad from the Harris campaign on reproductive freedom. I've seen this one aired on TV by me at least a whole lot. I'm not sure if you have. I want to warn you. This one's very tough to watch, but it's really important to watch and share. Take a look.
Her blanket.
First of all, I'm the one that got rid of Roe v. Wade.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form. Women will be happy, healthy, confident, and free. You will no longer be thinking about abortion. It's all they talk about, abortion. You will no longer be abandoned, lonely, or scared. You will no longer have anxiety. You will be protected, and I will be your protector.
Powerful. This next ad is from Futured Forward PAC. They are the biggest pro-Harris PAC in the country. There's big spending behind this ad.
She was tough enough to take on transnational gangs as a prosecutor, and smart enough to beat the big banks and get billions back for homeowners. She's old enough to have over 30 years of experience in public service, and young enough to remember working her way through school at McDonald's. If you've had enough of this political era, and you're ready to turn the page, Kamala Harris is ready to lead us to the future. FF PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
You would never clean your face with an abrasive scrub because it messes with your skin's natural barrier, right? So what if I told you that toilet paper is doing the exact same thing to your bottom, causing micro tears on your body's most delicate skin? Yikes. The solution? Switch to a Tushy bidet and wash with a gentle, soothing stream of water every time you go. I've been using the Tushy bidet and there is no going back. The installation was super easy. It took me less than 10 minutes to set up and I didn't need any special tools or extra plumbing. It fits right in with my bathroom vibe too, and you actually feel clean after you use it. The Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet and it doesn't need electricity or complicated plumbing. You just sit, do your thing, and turn the knob for a refreshing stream of water. Then you could pat dry with a little toilet paper, simple and effective. Plus, every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. It's time we give love and care to our body's most sensitive skin and join the 2 million butts who have already switched to Tushy. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code MIDAS at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code MIDAS, M-E-I-D-A-S. This next ad features Allison Gill. Many of you may know her as AG. She's the host of the Mueller, She Wrote podcast, and she is out with a very emotional and powerful advertisement. Watch.
29 years ago, while serving in the U.S. military, I was drugged and violently raped. And that crime resulted in an unwanted pregnancy. At the time, because of the protections of Roe v. Wade, I was able to seek reproductive health care in Florida, where I was stationed. And when Trump's Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, I was immediately worried about all the service members trapped in states with abortion bans, where they might be forced to carry their rapists' babies to term. So I decided to share my story with the Washington Post. And a few months later, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris enacted policy that grants leave, no questions asked, to service members and their families so they can travel to get the reproductive health care they need. The next president of the United States is poised to appoint as many as 3 Supreme Court justices. But if Donald Trump returns to office, he and his Republican lapdogs in Congress will repeal this policy, stranding our active duty service members and their families in states that will deny them access to life-saving reproductive.
The stakes are high this election, folks. So on that note, I want to show you this next ad from the Lincoln Project, who wants you to stop panicking and start organizing. Check this out.
The race is close. The polls are razor thin. Republicans want Democrats to panic, to believe Trump can't be beaten. For everyone who remembers 2016, they're getting nervous. Well, get the hell over it. The polls are garbage. Trump is losing his mind and his campaign. Kamala Harris is winning, connecting with Americans, making the case for democracy, doing her part to help end this madness. There is no time to panic, no time to quit. It's time to fight. Vote early, organize, volunteer. Get out and show Trump you're not scared. Show him you're ready for the fight. Ignore the polls. Ignore the noise. We know what he'll do if he loses.
Fake news.
The question is, what will you do to make sure he does?
This next spot, also from the Lincoln Project, says how Trump wants to use the military against us, and it calls for all Americans to stand with our military and our Constitution, not Donald Trump. Watch.
We live in a time when our politics often divides us, but respect for our military unites us, country over party. For the first time, a candidate for president threatens to use our proud military to settle political scores. Trump has threatened to put former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, before a military tribunal with penalty of death. This election, stand with our military. Stand with the Constitution. America or Trump.
This next ad is also from Futured Forward PAC. It features a 2-time Trump voter who's voting for Vice President Harris. Watch.
I'm a lifelong Republican, and I voted for Trump twice, but I can't do it again. Trump wants a national sales tax on imported goods. It'll make everything more expensive for regular people, all while giving tax breaks to billionaires.
You're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts?
Kamala Harris is for regular people. She wants a tax cut for 100 million Americans, so we keep more of our hard-earned money. I'm a proud Republican, but this year, I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
This next ad is from Gabrielle Gifford's group. It features Steve, a retired U.S. Army captain and gun owner, who's voting for Kamala Harris. Watch.
I'm a former commander of a U.S. Army small arms training company, and I take the responsibility of being a gun owner very seriously. We need to make sure that these weapons don't end up in the wrong hands. But when Donald Trump had the chance, he refused to close loopholes that let criminals and dangerous people buy guns. That leads to more violent crime, and it puts our law enforcement at risk. Kamala Harris will do what it takes to keep our families and communities safe.
Here's another one from the Lincoln Project. They say democracy requires responsibility. It is the president's responsibility to serve the people. It is the people's responsibility to elect leaders who will defend the Constitution and not seize power. Voting for Kamala Harris is our responsibility to America. Watch the new ad from the Lincoln Project.
You might love Kamala Harris and everything she stands for. Or you might only like Kamala Harris and some of what she stands for. Or maybe you're undecided, feel you don't know enough about her. So then, what do you know about her? A lot. You know she doesn't spew hate and anger. You know she doesn't bully, that she doesn't promise to lock up anyone who disagrees with her. She doesn't spread the big lie about our elections. You know she isn't a threat to our freedom, our democracy, and our children's futures. You also know a lot about Donald Trump. You know that everything she wouldn't do, he would, and has.
Donald Trump fights for billionaires and large corporations. I will fight to give money back to working and middle-class Americans.
You know who he is, and you know who she isn't. This November, decide who you are.
And the Harris campaign is also doing some really innovative stuff. They're running digital ads just like this, targeting college campuses in battleground states. Watch.
Hello, ladies. I'm Trey. It's good to be here.
What do you do and how much do you make?
I work in finance, making 6 figures.
How tall are you?
6'5".
Do you have a plan to vote in November?
Nah, not my thing.
There you have it. We are racing towards election day, folks, and every day matters. Every vote matters. So use these ads as inspiration. Use them as messaging. Make sure you share videos like this. Make sure you share these ads with your friends and with your family. Most importantly, make sure you vote. Make sure all of your pro-democracy friends and family are going to the polls, and make sure they are voting. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit subscribe. We are on our way to 3.5 million subscribers. Thanks to you. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.